Hey everyone, welcome to another video, and today, as you can see in the title, yes, another pickups video. Right on the cusp of the Project Retro video, so I hope you guys saw that video I released a couple days ago. There's some good games on that. But anyways, I know you guys are excited to check out these pickups, so let's get right into it. Bayonetta 3 Masqueade Edition. Now, I have not even played Bayonetta 2 yet, but I had the opportunity to get this collection via trade, thanks to my buddy Chris, and I went ahead and got it. So it comes with cases for the first game and the second game if you decide to get them on the Switch. I already got the first game on the PS4. I think that'll be always be the definitive version of that game on the PS4 and Xbox One system. But it's kind of cool if you want the full collection on the Switch. Now, the thing I know about the third game is I believe they changed the voice actress. I think the original voice actress was acting kind of weird, so they say, hey, we got to switch it up, guys. But so far, from what I've seen, the action looks like it stays faithful to the original game, so I'm looking forward to that. It's kind of weird, though, because I feel like I'm playing the game on a weaker system. But like I said, like talented developers, I feel like we're able to kind of like make this work on the Switch system, so kind of looking forward to it. But I want to know your guys' thoughts on it. And I'll tell you guys a secret. I actually played the original Bayonetta on the PS3 versus the Xbox 360 version. So yeah, between those versions of the game is like night and day. I kind of like I liked it on the PS3, but when I played it on the 360, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. So I played the worst version of this series, so everything is looking up, I would say, from that point on, right? Here's Jaxkrabbit for the Game Boy Advance. I don't know if it's a very sought-after game, but it's a very expensive one. I was lucky to get it collector in box thanks to my buddy Chris. And this game was really popular back in, like, I want to say, probably the late 90s, early 2000s on PC. It was weird that it got a Game Boy Advance port, but it's a pretty cool game. And also, there's a multiplayer mode that you could play I think if you have 4 carts. Maybe you just need one, hopefully, because the carts for this game are expensive. But it's like a battle royale mode that's actually pretty cool. I don't really know what happened to the IP of this game, really, why they didn't make any more sequels, or at least sequels that I know of. But I think it was really popular in the UK. But still, the Game Boy Advance port is actually just so weird that they would port it on the system. I mean, I'm happy they did, but you would have thought they would have kept it on PC. But maybe this was during the time PC was dying out, so they wanted to try other options. But anyways, guys, if you like the footage you're seeing here and you have a little bit of money to spend, pick up Jaxkrabbit. Here's the Toaplan Arcade Collection, Volume 1 and 2 from Clear River Games. Now, this consists of pretty much all the classic shoot-'em-ups from the company over the years, all in 2 collections so far. I love the fact that they're bringing a lot of these shooters to people's eyes. I don't really like when they bring these older games into one game on its own. Like, for instance, Fire Shark is a pretty old game. If they had made Fire Shark physical for PS5 or PS4, that would have been kind of annoying unless it was a remake or some kind of sequel or whatever, right? But these games definitely deserve to be in these compilations, so I'm really happy about that. So when I saw it, there was no question. I got both of them immediately. Also, I do like that these games have the different versions of them. I think that's cool, so everybody can kind of get a taste of how they change certain games over time. But I do also like the rewind feature. Sometimes you may feel these games may cheat you a bit, and a way to get back at them is, hey, let's rewind that back a little bit, let's try that again. So I love that they have that feature in there. But definitely a worthy collection to have, guys, especially if you like shooting ups. I would say yes, it's definitely a must-have. Fatal Fury City of Wolves Deluxe Edition. This went on sale at GameStop, and I said, yep, I'm going to get this. Because I originally wanted this before, but they were only releasing it on the PS5, this version of it. I was hoping for a PS4 version, but have this collector's edition with the PS5 upgrade. But anyways, it comes with the usual stuff you would think. It comes with a soundtrack, a 2-disc soundtrack, which I wasn't expecting. So lots of cool tracks here. Happy about that. Plus, they come in the steel case, which is great. It also comes with an art book with lots of character art for the characters of the game. I guess the season pass characters can't be in here, obviously, because they want to keep some of them a secret. But still, it would have been nice to have some kind of sketches of them in here as well. But going into the game itself, this game is a lot of fun. Me and Cag actually played it a couple weeks ago, and I got a lot to learn. I'm just playing it for fun, but Cag plays it more of a technical level. Like, he's trying to learn like every new move or new like mechanic in the game. And it's working for him because he got me like most of the time. So, but still, it's a fun game whether you're a casual or a serious player. I just love that every character ending in this game really kind of wraps it up like their ending is the canon ending of the story. So they really thought out the game's like storyline, which I was very happy with. They thought out the gameplay as well. I'm just overall really impressed with this game. I just wish the season pass characters were all like. We have more characters ready to go, but still, I'm excited to wait for the others, I guess. But yeah, definitely check this one out, guys, if you have a chance.
Round 2, get ready, fight, shoot! Look out! Beat up! Yeah! Rock you! Burning! Rock you! Rock you! Yeah! Rock you! Crack shoot! You ready? PT! Rock you! Burning! Rock you! Rock you! Burning! Wait!
Here we have Mr. Gimmick 2, or just Gimmick 2. This game was a pleasant surprise, especially if you have played the first game. I played the first game about 10 years ago on NES. Thought it was really fun. Very gimmicky, obviously, and sometimes annoying. But I did get through it. And now playing this one, I feel the same way. It's more the same. The story goes where the girl from the first game, her daughter gets kidnapped, and Gimmick goes back to the world to rescue her. And I think the designers did a great job, like putting this game together. I feel like it feels like it's like the first Gimmick, only we're getting it like 2 decades later, or 3 decades almost. Damn, wow, time goes by. But anyways, yeah, check this one out, guys. I'm having a good time with it. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound is finally here, guys. I refused to play this when it came out because it was digital only. I knew it was going to get a physical, and I patiently waited, and that moment is finally over with, guys. I get to play this game and enjoy it. And I got to watch my buddy Joel play it. He was loving it. I had to stop watching him because he was going through the game. But I'm just very excited to go through this game. I love the animations. I just love, like, the story continues from the original series, I believe. Because he told me, well, I actually watched him play, where you actually play as Joe Hayabusa, like during the first intro screen of the first game, like the cinematic of that. You actually get to play that mission, so that's freaking awesome. But anyways, very excited to play this game, guys. If you have played it, let me know. And also, got to put it out there, my buddy Joel and Cag had a battle of the words of which game is better, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound or the new Shinobi game. I haven't even played either barely, but I'm going to go with Ninja Gaiden already. But hopefully after I beat the game, that'll still be true. Alright, so here is Afterdream for the PS5. I did get the Switch version from Super Rare, but the PS5 version probably is going to be the main one I play because, the trophies and all that stuff. But you play as a woman named Jennifer who's having these really lucid dreams. And one of the dreams that she has you in this weird building where she's using her camera to try to like see what's happening. Like you go into dark rooms and you use your camera flash to kind of see what's in there sometimes, because some of the rooms lose power. Weird stuff starts to happen. You're like in this haunted like hotel. The game's a trip. It is like it's more of a psychological horror than anything. I feel like the game's going to be more jump scares than anything, but who knows? You know, I'm not that far in it yet, but it is a very interesting game that I think a lot of people should check out. And the PS5 version is available on Amazon. That's where I got my copy from. But happy this game got a release on the PS5, but I feel like the PS4 should have got a physical release for it. Here is Berserk Boy. I got lucky enough to play this when it first came out as digital, and guys, the people who made this game, they did an excellent job. It feels like a Mega Man game mixed with a little bit of Sonic the Hedgehog. It's a true throwback to the old school era of these type of games. It's freaking fantastic. Now, I would definitely consider this a semi-Metroidvania type game. I know that term, people get tired of that term, but it's just, I can't compare it to like anything else in that, you know. It really feels like that, an open world in a way. Now the action changes up in the game because you get like these elements, you know, lightning, earth, fire, air, ice, stuff like that. And those different elements will help you like get past certain levels or help you fight certain bosses in the game. You attack your enemies with chain combos in this game, and I love how the meter builds up. It kind of really pumps you up. Now, I'm not going to go into the story at all. I want you guys to see the story for yourself. It's actually pretty cool. But another great thing about this game is that it has a energetic soundtrack that I think a lot of people will love. If you guys remember, well, I'm pretty sure a lot of people here played the Ninja Turtles game, Shredder's Revenge. T. Lopes, the composer for that soundtrack, actually worked on this game. So, and I believe they worked on Sonic Mania as well. So, yeah, get ready for some catchy tunes in this game. But yeah, definitely check this one out, guys. It's available on the PS5 and Switch. Samurai Showdown for the Neo Geo CD. Yes, the Neo Geo CD collection continues to grow. I remember being a kid and seeing people play this game back in the day. One of the most technical fighting games I've ever seen. Like, no, not combo heavy, just technical. Like, you have to have the right timing to get your enemy, and you can tear them apart. But definitely happy to have this on the Neo Geo CD. It is. I feel like people, it's not a must-have game, you know, because obviously this game is in compilation, so you can probably get the compilation so you get the full experience of the whole series. But definitely a throwback playing this game. Here's Republique. Now, this is a stealth action game that I did a review on a while ago. It plays like a little bit of Metal Gear Solid, I would say, with the sneaking around and everything. But it has, I don't know, it's weird to say, it kind of feels like a old school Resident Evil game with the different camera angles and things like that. But you're basically controlling a character named Hope, which she's stuck in this conspiracy. Well, it's not even a conspiracy. I don't even want to ruin the story. The story is pretty crazy, but she's trapped in this facility where she's trying to escape, and it's got a lot to do with like weird government stuff, and like it gets pretty crazy. The game was actually released as episodic content back in the day, but it's a fun game. You just got to get used to everything. You are going to be like kind of like controlling a camera as well, so you'll try to get better angles at certain like screens and stuff. But definitely a interesting game, I would say. It's one of the early reviews I did back in the day. Maybe you guys could check it out. Star Ocean: The Second Story R, my favorite Star Ocean game in the series. I am so glad that this game got a somewhat of a remake. More of a fresh coat of paint, I would say, but man, does this game play better. And the options that they added to this game are just great. I will be doing a review on this game sometime in the near future. I don't know when, but I've been wanting to do one for a while, and it is long overdue. This game was great. I mean, I did everything, got my platinum in it. It's just like, just an amazing adventure. And this remake really did the game, or fresh coat of paint, whatever you want to call this. They did the game right. You know, I really feel like they did. And It is an amazing adventure, and it definitely was my entry into the Star Ocean series, which I still love dearly to this day. Dead Island 2 Ultimate Edition. I love this game, and after 2 years, I'm still playing it like it just came out. And this game is freaking fantastic. It is definitely, to me, the best Dead Island game out there. Game has a lot of cool environments, great personalities. You know, you come to love the characters. I'm probably gonna play the game with all 6 characters. I've beaten it with 3 of them so far. Well, actually, I beat it with 2 of them, but I beat it with a second time, so 3 playthroughs altogether. But definitely a great game that people should play. I wish there was more people online, which there is, because every time I do a public match, I always get people to join me, which is great. I'm playing it currently with my buddy Chris. We just beat the Haas DLC, or whatever that weird DLC. I thought that was pretty cool. And now we're going to do the Solar event, or whatever that festival is called. We're doing those missions now. But yeah, if you have a chance to get Dead Island, or of course just to play it in general, oh my God, you guys are in for a great experience. Great game, fantastic. We didn't deserve to wait like almost 10 years for this sequel, but still, it's here, and I'm very happy with it. Here's Gunvolt Records. This is a game where you match the music tones, kind of like what's that other game, Demo, and another kind of rhythm-based games. You're just doing it with a controller. This was just more lore that I like with the series. You know, I have pretty much all the Gunvolt games, so when I saw this one, I was kind of hesitant. But some of the tunes in this game are pretty catchy, so it's kind of like having like just a full game soundtrack in a way, but they just kind of change it up, make it a little bit fun by matching up the beats and everything. I have to show my support to this series because I want them to keep making new games. I'm hoping for Astro Striker Gunvolt 4, our Luminous Avenger X3, I guess. I was calling it 9 for so long. I saw somebody call it X or Nix. I can't remember. Never mind. Anyways, guys, Gunvolt Records, a cool rhythm game that you might want to check out. Lost Ruins is a game I've been waiting to play for almost 3 years now. It's been out for a while, but wanted to play it as a physical release. So now that it's here, I hate to say this, but this is a Metroidvania. I know people get tired of hearing that term, but that's just how it is. Now, one of the good things about this game is that if you don't care about the story, you could easily skip it, which is great. I think all Metroidvania should have that option, and just in case you're not into the story and you're more into the gameplay. Graphically, the game looks great to me, especially for a Metroidvania game. I feel like they put a lot of detail in the 2D sprites, so I think a lot of people will be happy with that. As far as the length, I think that's where the game might be a little disappointing for some. But, you know, you don't want games to be too long. You know, like a game that's short and sweet, you know, I feel like that's perfect. And this game kind of fits that for me. You know, it's not too long to beat the game. And it has a couple of good boss fights in it. There's a bunch of different weapons you can use in this game. You can even use like this teddy bear to attack enemies, which is pretty funny. But overall, definitely a game worth picking up, especially if you like Metroidvania types. So here we have Zues, the complete collection for the PS4. Now, originally I played the first game on the Wii. It was called Counterforce, but the controls were really weird in that game. You had to use a Wii remote. It was just really annoying. But now the game's on the PS4 and I believe the Switch, and the controls are a lot better since you don't have to use like motion controls. Now the second game in this collection, I don't believe was released outside of arcades, you know, but these are the type of games that are like really fun and arcadey. Obviously, you can get into them and get out of them really easy, you know. So quick action fix is what I like. So I love that we're getting releases of older arcade games. You know, these arcade games do deserve physical releases, and it deserves them in a proper way to where they're still fun. Counterforce, if you're thinking about getting that on the Wii, think again. It is a cheap game, but you probably won't play it past the first level. The controls are that bad. But this time, they are fixed just like they were intended to be. The Path of the Warrior, Art of Fighting Part 3. The best game in that series, and the only game you actually need to play, in my opinion, when it comes to like being a good game. The first two games I didn't really care for. I mean, they did some cool stuff, but it's like I don't know. I don't want to go too much into it, but Art of Fighting 3 is definitely a must-have. You can get this game in compilations too, so you probably want to look for that. But Neo Geo CD collection, I gotta keep it building, so grabbed it. Here's Umihara Kawaze Bazooka. Now, I had this game on the PS4 years ago. I still had that version. It's a media preview version I have. And I didn't really want to open that because I feel like that's more of a collector's item. But with this, this went on sale for $14. I said, yeah, let me go ahead and open this version of the game. So this is more of an arcadey version of the Umihara series. Same gimmicks and all that stuff, but you get to pick like a bunch of different other characters to help you during your quest. It's more like a clear out the screen type of game and then move on to the next level. So it's probably the most arcadey game out of the series. But you'll definitely see a lot of familiar faces from Cotton. What else? A bunch of other series that NN's a part of right now. But yeah, $14, I thought it was a good deal. So if you haven't played this one, you like arcadey type games, I would say definitely give it a go. Here's Castlevania Rondo of Blood, the English version. Now, what they did was convert, I believe, the PSP dialogue and translation to this version here. So now you can play this version in English, which a lot of people will love. Here's also a quick look at the manual inside. This game has been Rondo of Blood is my favorite game in the series, but I gotta admit, getting to some of the bosses can be tough. But once you get to them, the game, to me, the bosses are pretty easy, well, in my opinion. But man, I think this is probably one of the harder Castlevania games out there. Well, you guys let me know what you think about it. Maybe it's not one of the harder games in the series, but I remember when I first played this game, I was struggling with it. But it was really a fun game because I remember when I first beat the game, I got one of the worst endings because I didn't rescue the girls, and I remember how mad I was, and I went back and played the game immediately, and I found Maria and Annette, and got the best ending, which I was very happy with. But yeah, you could play this game on a lot of modern platforms too, but this is more for the enthusiasts that want to play on the original hardware. So yeah, this is a love letter to them to finally get this game translated in English on that system. Sky Ocean Wings for Hire intrigued me because people had compared it to Skies of Arcadia or said that what kind of drew its influence. I can see that with the gameplay, but the thing that throws me back about this game is that the art style of the characters, their facial expressions look pretty dopey, and it's I don't know, man. I like a bit of expression with my RPGs, but maybe that's just me. I mean, I play a little bit further into it, maybe it'll pick up on me, but they just look too happy. Sometimes the emotion just kind of takes away from certain gameplay scenes, I would say. But I'm going to give it a chance. Definitely let me know what you guys think about it if you played it. Like I said, it's supposed to be kind of like a spiritual successor to Skies of Arcadia, which I really enjoyed. So I'll let you guys know more in the future. Here is a Bards Tale, the remastered version. Originally, this game came out on the PS2 back in the day, and maybe even Xbox. And I remember it was a big deal. But unfortunately, the game, I don't think it sold well back in the day, and not a lot of people really got to play it. But now it's got a second wind, and this game is freaking hilarious. Now, for those of you that have never played this game, this is a single-player action game with RPG elements, as you could probably see in the video here. Funny thing about this game, when I was about to play it back in the day, I thought it was going to be a turn-based game, so that's what kind of drew me into it, because I was really into a lot of RPGs back then. But it is an action game, and it's funny how you can use dialogue in the game. You could be nice, or you could be kind of snarky with people you talk to in the game. It's pretty hilarious stuff. It has Cary Elwes as the main character. You guys probably know him from movies like Saw. He was in the first Saw movie. He was also in the movie The Crush with Alicia Silverstone. And you guys remember that one? Pretty crazy movie. But most of you probably remember him from The Princess Bride, excuse me. And then also Robin Hood, Men in Tights, which is a hilarious, underrated movie that people should check out. It's freaking funny. Ahead of its time, in my opinion. But yeah, Bards Tale available on the Vita, PS4. You could get the original PS2 version, of course, for cheap. But it's definitely something you guys will want to check out. It's hilarious. It just has a lot of personality, and it shows you can kind of see why it kind of got overlooked back in the day. But yeah, definitely check this one out, and make sure when you go to the first pub in the game, make sure you listen to the full beer song. It's freaking hilarious. Skinny and Franko, Fist of Violence. Now, this is probably my favorite game out of this list. This game is one of the most realistic games when it comes to like how walking in the street fighting people would be, like street fighting. Broken bones sticking out of your leg. It's pretty insane. And if you ever do decide to go street fighting, which I don't recommend you do, make sure you have somebody watching your back, because this game is insane, like how many enemies come after you, and it is pretty brutal. Now, my only caveat when I reviewed this game a while back is that the levels were a bit too long. If they weren't as long, I feel like, you know, I don't need a long beat 'em up level in a game, because, you know, you kind of like the levels kind of wear out their welcome after a while, especially when you're seeing the same backgrounds, I would say. But other than that, I think this is a fun game. I wish that it was online, that you could play with a friend, but you can use a share play if you got good connection. But you guys can't like get trophies together if you do it that way. But still, overall, you know, I think this is a really fun game. Just remember, the levels are pretty long, so, you know, get ready for that.
Yeah, it was long, brother. But it's time to clean the streets of shit.
RC Revenge. I'm on a racing game kick again, and I had no idea this game existed. I may have saw it years ago, but just kind of passed it up because I wasn't into these type of games. But as you can see, if you like racing games similar that are arcadey type, like similar to like Mario Kart or Sonic Racing and stuff like that, this game is probably something you want to try out on the PlayStation. I think they made a director's cut or semi-sequel for the PS2, but I have not played that version. But they say this one is actually better, or at least it got rated better. But yeah, this is a fun game. So and it's on the cheap, so I said, hey, let me try it out. So here we have Restless Night. This is a horror game, well, a twin-stick horror game where you pretty much clear out the enemies on the screen. Now, you get different weapons to help you out. You get shields and things like that, but everything seems like, at least when I was playing, it was pretty random. Pretty fun game. Things get pretty hectic as you get through it, and plus you fight bosses as well, but nothing that people can't handle. It's a pretty fun twin-stick shooter. If you like the retro look of Atari games, this will be a must-have. Broken Sword, Shadow of the Templars, Reforged. Wow, this game, this game is back with a fresh coat of paint. I feel like it's been done with, redone with AI to fix up some of the animation. But you guys let me know what you think. I originally played this game back on the PS1, and I had a good time with it. You know, it's a good point-and-click type adventure game. I don't know how people feel about these games today. I feel like these type of games are getting somewhat of a resurgence. They're kind of bringing them back. But yeah, this is definitely one of the top ones that people will want to try out. But if you have a fear of clowns in this game, you might want to skip the intro. It's got some craziness going on. But yeah, if you see yourself like playing this type of game, definitely start with this one.
Upon your deepest strength and staunch resolve, challenge these conspirators to betray their unspeakable truth. This is clandestine. This is arcane.
So here's Radioactive Dwarfs. Now, you play as a woman that decides to investigate some mysterious killings going on, and she takes it to the sewers, and she finds these evil dwarves in there, and you gotta take them out. Now the game is, I want to say is kind of simplistic, but not really. You know, there's different gimmicks to the game, I would say, but mainly you're going to be finding keys to find the exit and find out the secret of what's really going on. Now, every so often when you beat a couple of levels, it'll show a cinematic, so it'll give you a little bit of story. But definitely, I would say it's a simple game. It's probably like one of those games you would play on Nintendo or even Atari, but just on a PS4. So, yeah, Radioactive Dwarfs. RC Team Losi Racer? Or just RC Racer, let's just go with that. But originally called Buggy on the PlayStation 1 system in PAL territories. I talked about this game recently on my Evercade video. And this came, I believe, in the Gremlin collection. Now, this game is fun, but you got to make sure while you're racing, you got to keep going through these goalposts here, because if you don't, you lose speed, and that's how you stay ahead in this game. You got to make sure you go through those posts so you gain speed. The terrain is pretty crazy in this game, so it's like you got to be very careful of how you turn and where you gain speed at. But overall, it is a fun game. It's not. I wouldn't say it's as fun as the RC Racer one, or RC Revenge, but overall, I think it's still a fun one. Beholgar, or I think that's how you pronounce this one. First thing I thought about this game was like Conan the Adventurer. You know, I felt like this was going to be an awesome Metroidvania type game. From what I've played, it's pretty straightforward, but I was not very good at this game. I was sucking at it, and I need to get a little bit better to really experience the full game. But this one, I think, has potential. I'm not totally sure just yet because I'm not that far, but definitely want to keep playing it, give it a go. I think this is a pretty solid game so far. Here's Macross Shooting Insight. This is a collector's edition that comes with the extra items that you're seeing here. You know, I have one Macross. Well, I have two of them. I forgot what they were called in America initially. You guys will let me know in the comment section. But cool collection here. But this new game is kind of cool because it's more of a all around, like it's a horizontal shooter, it's a vertical shooter, and it's a grid shooter as well. So you have that all in one. Definitely something I think some shoot 'em up fans will like. I think most of them will like it. I don't think that they'll like the story element of the game, because a lot of people probably won't even pay attention to that. But this is a really solid game that I'm playing so far. I do find myself skipping some of the cutscenes, but I just want more of the arcade action. Then the story can fill me in later. I will say the game started out a little bit slow for me, but once you get past the first level, it starts to pick up. But I was struggling with the first level, which is pretty insane. I just the game kept starting me over from the beginning for my mistakes. But like I said, once I got used to it, I think everything started to flow well. Here's Connect Tank, the Noble Limited Edition. I'm probably the only person that has footage of what comes with this, because I looked what was inside of it online just to see if anybody did a live video of it or just a post-related video, and nobody has an unboxing of this, so I might be one of the first people. But anyways, this one on sale for $30, and I say, you know what, let me give it a go. And it's kind of like two different gameplay styles when playing this game. There's tank battles, and there's like a conveyor belt puzzle, like where you're working on like kind of like fixing things or delivering packages. It's pretty cool. The game also has some cool story cutscenes that kind of flesh out the characters. It's pretty funny and goofy. But I want to say that this is one of those games that I've seen out there that I think is pretty hidden. Not a lot of people know about this one. And I remember seeing this at GameStop, and just like it just sat there, like just like no attention, like nobody even probably picked it up and looked at it. Like GameStop gutted it and just put it out on the shelf, never touched. But I looked at it and I thought it was interesting, but I didn't end up buying it. Of course, I got the limited collector's edition, which I showed you guys earlier. But I feel like this game is like, it has potential, you know what I mean? Like it seems like it was trying to do something different by adding like kind of two different gameplay elements to it, you know, where, you know, you're packing up the tanks and the tank battles, things like that. It's kind of cool how they do that, so it kind of changes up the action.
Ah, another competitor, Lord Louis Longneck of Lewingford. A banker, a patron of the arts, and a little too tall for my tastes. Plus, he wears clothes that are just too frilly to be considered business attire. Get serious, man, you're in financials. Of course, you never have to command a tank alone if you don't want. You're an independent contractor. You can do the job however you like. You can get up to 4 friends to join in the fun.
Dying Light. So this was made by the people who created the Dead Island series, at least the first 2 games, which was Dead Island and Dead Island Reptide. There was some kind of issue with making Dead Island 2, so they went ahead and made this game. Have not got too much into it yet, but it's crazy, like jumping off of rooftops and just going, like being chased by these crazy zombies. It is freaking insane. Now, coming off of beating Dead Island 2 for like the 3rd time, I played with a friend recently, really enjoyed that one, and now we're going to get into this game. So I heard a lot of good things about it. I'm hoping to beat it probably within the next couple weeks. We'll see how that goes. I'm still got my Dead Island 2 fix going on as I got that game, the new Ultimate Edition with the DLC. But this game looks like it's going to be a lot of fun as well. So hopefully I'll have a good experience with it. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Lots of games on this list. Hope you guys found something that you might have liked. And also I will try to timestamp the video so you guys could jump around if need be. Also, make sure you guys check out my Project Retro is Back video. Project Retro Games put out some releases lately, and I think you guys might be interested in those games as well. Anyways guys, that's all I got for you, the Radical One, and I will see you all later.